Yo,
The nationwide keyword Vegas to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
For your Friday, look for a slight chance of showers and even a possibility of a thunderstorm for today. But that daytime high, not bad, 106. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with that overnight low, 91. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by Suzuki Law.
Facing criminal charges or injured in an accident, Suzuki Law has your back. We fight for you.
Good afternoon. Happy Friday.
All the best, forget the rest. One call, Suzuki Law.
Yep, sounds good.
505-0000. Suzuki.
Yep.
Calling all sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In a wreck and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900 and always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. on Fox Sports 910.
I think it's safe to say we can start going with football Fridays, right?
Absolutely, we
got
can.
Two games last night. Got the Cardinals opening their preseason play tomorrow against the Saints at State Farm Stadium. Good stuff there, but it's still baseball season. And D-backs last night opened up game one against the Philadelphia Phillies down at the bank, and they unfortunately surrendered 4 runs in the top of the 6th, which was the difference as they fell to the Phillies 6-4. They'll go at it again tonight as Ryan Nelson will be on the mound, and you hope that he can have yet another stellar outing, as he seems to get stuck with having to pitch against the other superstars.
By the way,
because last week it was Pittsburgh and Skeens, and then this week it's going to be Zach Wheeler tonight, who is their ace. He is got a 2.77 ERA. He's been playing lights out, all season long. But wasn't his sharpest performance last week, but he has been pretty good over the course of this season. So we'll hope that this Diamondbacks team can get back on their winning ways. We're going to catch up with Jody Jackson, the pregame and postgame host for MLB Network. You can watch her on Cox 34. She will join us at 1:30. So we'll talk about this Diamondbacks team, the success, some of the changes they've made, some of the players they've picked up. So we'll get into that with her. Also today, we will have Scott Spreitzer breaking down some of these preseason games, and Howard Balzer will stop by and talk Cardinal football. So that is our guest list for this afternoon. In the meantime, we got a lot to get into. First, of course, it is the D-backs, and more specifically what happened last night. Started off pretty good with Gino Suarez going off with a home run in the bottom of the 5th. That was a solo shot. But Jordan Montgomery, who pitched well, but once he got to the 6th, you could tell the first batter and a couple batters that he walked, he just looked like he was out of gas. And same with Ketel Marte, who struck out 3 times. He seemed like he was out of gas. If you recall, he played all 18 innings the day before.
Yes.
When that doubleheader with the Guardians. So he could have used a break, I think. If anybody was going to get a day off, I think Ketel Marte should have got a day off. But for Jordan Montgomery, he kind of fell apart in that 6th inning. He was charged with a 6 loss, gave up 4 runs on 8 hits in 5 2/3 innings. Highlight was Jake McCarthy, who had a home run and 3 RBIs in the losing effort. But Arizona is still just 3.5 games behind the Dodgers for first place in the National League West at 63 and 53. So again, as I mentioned, they will take on Philly tonight.
Yeah, I guess the biggest thing to look at is runners in scoring position. They're 1 for 9.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
That was not good. You left eight runners on. So you looked at that. You bring up a good point, Rock. That doubleheader and flat all the way back and taking on the Phillies, probably the best team in the National League coming up there. And you're right, Jordan Montgomery really seemed to struggle in that 6th inning. And you kind of, wow, in that 5th inning, I should say. And, you can't load the bases up. You can't walk to load the bases up. You come in and you're the guy that's responsible for those runs given up from that standpoint. And Floro comes up, gives up the 2 hits, get the runs. They have that big inning like the Philadelphia Phillies can have with those big innings. But again, when he's pitching at home, when you watch Jordan Montgomery pitch at home, it seems like he struggles more at home than he does on the road. I believe his ERA is like 4.2 something on the road. And here it's 8 point something, or did I read that correctly? 8.2. So I don't know if it's Chase Field, maybe not enough air conditioning or something to that effect, but it just seems to really struggle. And if there's one thing that he's probably trying to get himself back into shape, because he didn't have a spring training. He started off, got injured.
But we're in August now.
I got you.
Come on.
But he just came back.
He's had plenty of starts.
I get it. But he's come back after that injury. He's had a couple starts now, but for some reason he's struggling. I thought his first outing was pretty good, all things considered. But this one, for some reason, I don't know if it's stamina. I don't know if it's conditioning, whatever it is. He just seems to be sweating bullets because he came off. You looked at him in the dugout. He was just like drenched.
Yeah.
And he's going, okay, maybe he's not in good enough shape yet. But hopefully he gave us good 4 1/3, went 5 2/3 before they had to come in and relieve him.
So I'll talk some more D-backs with Jody in about 25 minutes. Of course, Cardinals tomorrow, preseason football with the Saints. They did announce earlier this week that Kyle Murray will not play, but Marvin Harrison Jr. will. How long? If it's one series, is it a whole quarter? We'll have to wait and see. I know a lot of people are anxious to see him out there on the field, along with some of the other guys that they have picked up in the offseason and they've drafted. So we'll see how tomorrow goes, Saturday goes. Yeah, tomorrow goes as preseason game 1 for the Cardinals. Of course, there's only 3, no longer 4. Last night we got to see some preseason games. Both of them were very low-scoring affairs. The Patriots took down the Panthers 17-3. We'll talk about what happened after the game with the Panthers a little bit later. And then the Giants beat the Lions 14-3. Watch the one because we couldn't watch the other, but just to be able to watch some football, which was great. And it's unfortunate. The preseason, you don't see anybody. You don't know who any of these guys are.
They got them in bubble wrap, most of them. You know what? With the Cardinals, I think a lot of folks. You talk about Marvin Harrison Jr. How long will he play? I like to see him go maybe 2 or 3 series. Just how much start their defensive guys. I'm sure a lot of second teamers, maybe first, second teamers. But I think as far as Darius Robinson and Trey Benson, Darius Robinson as an edge rusher, Trey Benson coming out of the backfield as a running back, and then Max Melton. I think the rookies that are potential starters need to get maybe a couple, 2, 3 series in just to get out there and get used to the speed of the game. From college to the National Football League, Rock, it's like going from 4th gear to like 7th gear.
But even in preseason, would you say a game between USC and Alabama in November is less gear, like a lower gear, than a preseason game with a bunch of nobodies?
Can I tell you, Rock, how fast the NFL game is with whether you have the second teamers or third teamers?
But a preseason game where you're not going 100%. Some of these guys.
Well, anybody that's on the field is going to go 100%.
Oh,
I guarantee you.
A guy that's a veteran is trying not to get hurt. He's not going 100%.
Well, if he's playing
in a preseason,
no, I disagree. If guys are veteran, what they want to do is get their technique down, they want to knock the rust off. They're going to come at you at 100%. You cannot go on a football field, go 80, 90%. You get a chance to get hurt. So if you're going to play, let's say 2 series and you're a veteran, you're going to go all out. You're going to work on your technique. You're going to work on making sure you get your right spot at the right time with your receiver, with your lineman, with your linebacker. You're going at it. And because if you ease up, you're out there at half speed, you're going to get hurt. And that's one thing that they don't want to make sure you don't get hurt. If you're going to be out there, go full bore. But I think with some of these rookies like the Tip Ryman, the tight end, and I think of Isaiah Adams, who's going to be at the tackle. By the way, he was going to start, but they put in Brown instead of Adams. But I think for a lot of Cardinals fans watching your rookies, see how they do. And I think Desmond Ridder, quarterback, see how he handles things out there. Clayton Tune, how he handles things out there. And for me, it's just how organized are they, getting up the line of scrimmage, getting the play called, and as far as just having some semblance of organization more than anything.
On a national level, we'll get into the Olympics. Some good stuff today as we are winding down the Olympics. This is the last weekend. Jim Harbaugh, who's been in the news quite a bit, he's going back to Michigan. And this is after this week, he got a 4-year show clause penalty. And now he has been and has accepted to be the honorary captain on August 31st against Fresno State. If if he got a show cause penalty, wouldn't that mean he can't go back on campus? He can't be on the field.
He's a guest. He's not a coach. He's a come back as a guest.
But
you got to be a coach.
When do you put your foot down? I mean, he shouldn't be allowed on that campus.
I would say he's the prodigal son, Rock. He's going to come back. He's a former quarterback there. Led him to a national title. He's coming back with open arms. They're not going to think about anything about recruiting. Hey, welcome back, our prodigal son. We love you. You're going to be honored for the Fresno State game, all the above. If he comes back, he can't come back as a coach. He's a guest. He's an honorary guest. But is that a good look for the president to go, do we really want Jim to come back this year? How about we let this thing kind of die down before we bring him back? They don't care.
So
they want him back, man.
I yesterday ran into someone who is in the industry, who is a huge Michigan guy and is literally in the industry. And he told me, you're going to hear in the next week, or maybe when this Netflix. Yes. Thank you. Or documentary comes out about Stallions, the kid, you know,
yes,
that the Central Michigan head coach went to high school with him. And that's how he was on the sideline.
Really?
Now, that was from a source that had a few beers in him, but I have to listen to him because he's affiliated with Harbaugh. Dog's name's Harbaugh. So I have to kind of believe that could be the case. And if that is the case, all right, then when does this now start to really blow up? And who else did Stallions know? Or who else did the Central Michigan head coach know? Or whomever?
Well,
I don't know his name.
If the dots,
Jim McElwain.
Okay. So and look up where he went to high school, and let's see if this is a fact.
Connecting the dots over here, Rock. That's can you imagine if all things lead to Jim Harbaugh, caught with his pants down, they pull the curtain back, and there he is. But Rocky said he had no idea, no wrongdoing whatsoever, which I don't believe.
You know what?
I don't believe it whatsoever.
Yeah, I made an argument with this guy last night. I go, you're full. You know what? I go, you're gonna tell me. He goes, head coaches only know 10% of what's going on.
That's BS.
I literally, he's across the bar, and I'm like firing off F-bombs to him because I'm like, dude, you're full. You know what? I go, you don't know what the F you're talking about. I go, you're going to tell me a head coach only knows 10% of what goes on? No way.
Jim Harbaugh doesn't miss a beat, Rock. He's like Nick Saban.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I'll say 80% that they know. But there is that 20% you don't know.
Those coaches, we think the coaches went rogue on him.
Where's he from?
Well, so So Jim McElwain, the head coach of Central Michigan, is actually from Missoula, Montana, and went to high school at Centennial High School and went to college at Eastern Washington.
And we don't know where Stallion is from.
Connor Stallions.
I think that the intrigue about all this is,
I just think it's a typical Michigan guy coming up with excuses to cover his ass.
Well, I think that they're saying, hey, look, nothing to see here. He didn't know. He says he didn't know. You gotta honor his word. Well, did he have his fingers crossed when he was up there at the podium?
It's probably, and it may be like, this head coach's brother or cousin went to the same high school this guy went to.
In that speech, he said we all make mistakes. You know, he kind of He was talking about he had nothing. He said we're all not perfect. So was that kind of like, okay, you're admitting without admitting it that you're not perfect? Because when he had that statement talking about, I promise you, I'm not lying. Hey, we're all not perfect with what we're doing. I'm like, wait a second. So were you trying to say that you're sorry? But he didn't apologize for anything.
Connor Stallions went to Lake Orion High School in Michigan. So I don't know how those two add up according to your source.
Exactly. Like I told you, I prefaced it by saying this source I think is full of you know what. But sometimes these sources do come to fruition and they do work out.
Did you use the word allegedly? Heard that as well too. Threw allegedly in there. Your source said that this could allegedly be the thing.
The thing is, he gave me like 4 or 5 things that he said that are going to come down, that are going to kind of, help his case.
Blow it open?
No, we're going to help Harbaugh's case.
Oh, okay.
But again, it's coming from a Michigan guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's this is something I think I would have heard, maybe an Ohio State guy.
Well,
try to throw Michigan under the bus.
You would hope that Harbaugh, you would know nothing. I just find it hard to believe in my mind that he knew nothing about anything, inklings about going on.
Hey, we got 2 State 48 Roofing Get Your Call questions today. Number 1 is, how much time do you want to see the starters play in the Saints preseason game, Cardinals Saints? None, 2 series, a quarter, or a half. And do you think taxpayer dollars should be used to help NFL stadiums? Yes or no? We're going to get into that in the second hour today about what's going on in the National Football League when it comes to stadiums. But up next, it's our Document Solutions Sounds of the Night. Got some Olympics as well as some D-backs. It's Roc and Manuch today from Wright Toyota.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado feature a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. That's why they've won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant and enjoy. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of game day.
Need an electric charger installed or a TV mounted? Contact AC Electrical Family at aceelectricalfamily.com or call 602-577-1392. That's aceelectricalfamily.com to book your free quote now. AC Electrical Family. Power up with the best.
Hey, it's Dom with Venezia's Pizzeria. You know us for delicious family dinners and huge party pizzas. But did you know we are great at feeding a large group too? Our full catering menu has a ton of variety, so everyone will find something they love. And the best part? We don't charge per head. Just tell us how many people you need to feed, and we'll handle the rest. Check out our catering menu at venezias.com. That's venezias.com. Venezias, a family and catering tradition.
It's Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing and your sexy status roof guy on Instagram and Facebook. Lesser roofers cut corners, cobbling together patchwork roofs to meet a budget, not State 48 Roofing. Give us a call today for your maintenance, repair, or full replacement needs.
Are you struggling with low testosterone? Metier Clinical Services has you covered. Get a 1-month supply for just $250, including your initial labs and pre-filled syringes. Visit Metier Clinical Services today and pick up your boost. No hassle, just results. Call or stop by to learn more at 602-835-2675 or visit metierclinicalservices.com. Metier Clinical Services, your solution for a healthier you starts here. Consult your healthcare provider before starting any new treatment.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills. Great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Now back to the Roc and Manuch Show, live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the selection, and always right on the price. Wright Toyota, 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale, and online at WrightToyota.com. Time for today's play of the day, courtesy of Document Solutions, leading the valley in business solutions for copier and IT service. Their service can't be copied. 623-252-8282. Now let's get to the play of the day.
All right, before we get to the plays of the day, just to remind you, we have one more week for you to enter to win a big screen TV for the football season as we've teamed up with Twin Peaks. And all you got to do is text PEAKS to 59925. That's PEAKS to 59925. You can enter daily. Standard message and data rates apply. And you are entering for a new big screen TV, your choice of size, up to 85 inches. How about that? So we'll give you that opportunity right now. That's PEAKS, P-E-A-K-S, to 59925. All right, Document Solutions. Let's get to the Olympics. We do have some fresh stuff to give you at 2 o'clock, but this is from yesterday, the final seconds of Team USA, and their come-from-behind win over Serbia.
Micic, 6 seconds left. Micic gonna have to hurry. Bogdanovich puts it up. Short, and the United States, trailing by as many as 17, back from underneath the grave, advance to the gold medal game.
Partner, was you worried? Were you worried? D-Wade, last comment. Are you worried? Yeah, a lot of people were worried.
It's hopefully it's just going to let a match under these guys.
Well, I would
They're
hope
gonna
so.
Blow out France.
Well, you saw the urgency in the second half. I mean, when you see a team like Serbia up 17 points, I could see maybe 5, maybe 10 at the most, but 17, you had battle back. They kept it within, 5 to 10 points when they finally got some rebounds and some fast breaks. And Steph Curry hit some huge three-point shots.
All right, let's get some D-backs. We have 2 highlights. One is Gino Suarez's solo homer, and then we'll come back with McCarthy's 2-run homer.
Suarez lets it go. Off the pole and gone. We know it's Gino, and it's 1-0 Diamondbacks.
Steve Berthiaume with a nice call there. How about that? And then here's Jake McCarthy with his 2-run shot, which made got the lead down for Philly to 4-3.
McCarthy, high fly ball. Right field, Jake McCarthy, gone. And the answer backs have answered back. It's a 1-run game.
So he had a hot bat last night, 3 hits, 3 RBIs. Since mid-June, he's batting .336. You know, he's in that rotation of that outfield, so he's trying to get in there. And it all has to do with matchups and righties and lefties. But it's good to see him having some success and actually getting in there and playing some ball.
Well, guy's dang near hitting 300 too, Rock. I mean, he's just he's got great speed, covers the outfield, steals you a base once in a while, and look at the power and the line drive. And the one thing you talked about with Ketel Marte being the DH last night, he struggled at the plate.
There's other guys they could have gave the
I agree.
DH role. He was missing. He was missing fastballs. I mean, it was like you could tell he was just out of gas.
He was. I'm not going to say uninterested. He just had some bad at bats.
Yeah,
and it was like, dude, you haven't done that in over 2 months.
I know. That's why I think he just needed a break.
Yeah.
I mean, playing the 18 the night before, and it's just a lot. I mean, and the travel, you had a 5-hour flight from Cleveland or whatever it is, close to that, 4 hours. But anyway, that is your Document Solutions Sounds of the Night. 623-252-8282. Get yourself a new all-in-one printer. Right now, you can buy, lease, or rent. They got many makes and models that work just off, right off your smartphone. Document Solutions of the Valley, where their service can't be copied when you call. Ask for our good buddy Greg House. All right, on this day 88 years ago, 1936, Jesse Owens shoved it in Hitler's face by leading the U.S. 400-meter relay team to a gold in Berlin, becoming the first person to win 4 gold medals.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it, Hitler, would you please?
Yes, 29 years ago today, sad day, 1995, Grateful Dead. Jerry Garcia passed away from a heart attack. He was only 53. I was fortunate that front row Grateful Dead out at Cricket or Pavilions, whatever it's called back then. Ashley, I mean, it's always different.
Compton
names.
Terrace, maybe?
Yeah, no, it was
before that.
It was not that. Compton Terrace was closed in that time. It was over in now it's called Talking Stick Pavilion.
Oh, okay, exactly.
It used to be called Cricket.
Yeah,
all different names.
Years ago.
I remember having front row for
Did
Jerry.
he
That
died?
was awesome.
He had a heart attack while he was in rehab? Was that
in rehab in San Francisco, yep.
53 years old. Wow, young guy.
Well, he lived pretty hard.
Yeah, he did.
I think he lived pretty hard.
You think, Rock, he was 53 going on 102?
At least.
Lived a hard
sure,
life.
you and I, if we were all 53, we'd all look a lot different.
Yes.
24 years ago today, 2000, the year 2000, Michael Irvin was arrested for possession of pot. He had less than 2 ounces, so he had more than an ounce.
It's interesting. Ever since day one, I mean, what a phenomenal Hall of Famer receiver was. There's always been a little bit of a history behind him, and this last thing was resolved. Was the sexual assault scenario was released because they found out there's no merit to it. But Michael Irvin, we talk about it, just a all-out, hardworking, phenomenal receiver. But there's always been something in his past or something that's always been there. So I think he's got it all figured out by now, straightened out, and there's nothing more to be harmed about in his career, broadcasting or anything like that.
Yeah, so I think he's been somewhat cleared.
He has. Yeah, he was. He was cleared.
His little deal here.
Yeah, he was. The elevator thing, he was clear with that, exonerated from that standpoint.
I'm anxious to see where he ends up.
Lands.
Yeah, because I enjoy his banter. I enjoy his going back and forth with these different talking heads because I think he's good.
I think he's outstanding, and I think that's the kind of energy that you need for a program. And watching him, the thing he does, he gets to the crux of whoever he's interviewing, whether it be the receiver or the lineman or whomever. And I can appreciate that because where he came from, virtually nothing, in a home full of kids, and to go where he was at Miami and then move on to the National Football League, it's always something to hear his viewpoint on things. Gets a little animated. I mean, he can get a little strong at times, but I think that's what a lot of folks want on the entertainment side.
Yeah, like Jason Kelsey, he is going to be on the Monday Night Football crew, and I'm anxious to see him. He's done a great job with his podcast called New Heights with his brother Travis, but this is a guy who just retired. He still could probably be playing. I mean, he played, 13 years for the Philadelphia Eagles, got himself a Super Bowl back in 2018, and I know he's anxious, and I'm anxious to see him. I hope he's not always going to wear a different hat like he did with the Olympics.
You sit there and I think of the Monday Night Football crew before, and a lot of the changes that they've had over the years. It's almost like, who's the new kid on the block, or what's the new flavor this year? Jason Kelly, Kelsey. I mean, Randy Moss is gone. Steve Young is gone. A lot of guys. I really enjoyed that group of guys and gals. Susie Colbert as well too. I thought they were solid. They got the point. They were entertaining enough. It's almost as if ESPN wants to kind of put that fresh thing in there to see how they do, and then they're gone in 2 or 3 years. Ray Lewis, I thought, did a good job. He came and he went. It's just and then who's the guy that's always breaking the stories for ESPN? He's always there. Oh man, help me out.
Schefter?
Schefter, Adam Schefter.
He's still there.
He's still there.
The thing is I think us older guys, we like consistency. We don't like change.
We do. Yes,
we like what we like, and we're so used to. Hey, this is the Monday Night Crew. You look forward to watching these guys every Monday. You watch the pregame. You jump around if you're going to watch the ABC, ESPN one, or in weekend. What are you going to do? You're going to watch the Fox. You're going to watch the NFL Network. You're going to, so. It does change.
Don't mess with my chocolate ice cream, man.
As long as they don't mess with when they have a little bit, they tweaked it is game day.
Yeah, I would say that. I think now when you look at the standard of all these guys trying to one up each other, I'm like you. I just want solid content. I just want to know who's doing what, where they're going, what's going to happen in the game. Hopefully,
Jody Jackson. We're going to talk D-backs next with her. It's Roc and Manuch today from Wright Toyota here on Fox Sports 910.
Clear.
Here's what's trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix.
Cardinals open their preseason tomorrow and they take on the Saints. Meanwhile, the Cowboys and Rams do battle Sunday afternoon. We'll have all the action here on Fox Sports 910. The Diamondbacks continue their series with the Phillies. Ryan Nelson gets the start. Merrill Kelly on track to rejoin the starting rotation in Sunday's finale. Kalia Copper at 11, Brittany Griner 5, and Team USA's win against Australia. Diana Taurasi was held scoreless. The Suns don't have their schedule yet, but reports say they'll play the Nuggets on Christmas Day. The official NBA schedule for the 24-25 season expected to be released soon. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Crest Insurance is about more than providing coverage. It's about creating your safety net. We offer access to a national network of trusted carriers. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, we're here to help with a personal touch that's close to home. With Crest, you're not only protecting what matters most, but also helping to build stronger, more resilient communities. Crest Insurance. Coverage you can trust. Service you can count on.
Hey, it's Jax, co-host of the only local sports gambling radio show in Arizona. Tune in every Saturday from 11 to 1, live right here from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. Let's cash some tickets.
Rock for WrightToyota.com. At Wright Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all of their innovative web tools on WrightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at WrightToyota.com.
Is it time for an all-in-one wireless printer with tons of connectivity options? With Document Solutions of the Valley, you can buy, lease, or rent models that work off of your smartphone. Call 623-252-8282. Document Solutions of the Valley. Our service can't be copied.
There's something that binds us all. The constant hunger to improve. The obsession with every detail. And the reward of a custom fitting taking your game to a whole new level. We're all bound by two words said by golfers worldwide. Schedule your fitting at Vans Golf Shops. Find your local store at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado feature a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. That's why they've won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant and enjoy. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of game day.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first time Nana moments.
Yeah, welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
All right, Jody's ready.
Sarah Spain for iHeart Women's Sports.
Presented by eBay Motors.
In a tight game that went to penalties, the Australians beat the U.S. in women's water polo 14-13 on Thursday. The U.S. won gold in the 2012, 2016, and Tokyo Olympics and hoped to be the first water polo team in either gender to win 4 golds in a row. They'll have to settle for a battle for bronze against the Netherlands on Saturday. For more women's sports stories, subscribe to Good Game with Sarah Spain on iHeart Podcasts.
eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need at the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they're guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Now back to the Roc and Manuch Show, live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the selection, and always right on the price. Wright Toyota, 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale, and online at wrighttoyota.com.
McCarthy, high fly ball.
You're live.
Right field, Jake McCarthy, gone. And the answer backs have answered back. It's a one-run game.
McCarthy playing some pretty good baseball when he gets in there. 3 hits last night, 3 RBIs. Just wasn't enough as the D-backs fell in game 1 against the Philadelphia Phillies. They'll go at it again tonight. This is a 4-game set. Joining us now, Jody Jackson, MLB. Catch her, of course, on Cox 34 tonight for the Phillies game, and she joins us down the Right Toyota guest line. How we doing, Jody? What's going on? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you guys. I'm doing well. And, couldn't pull off the answer back thing quite all the way last night, but going to try again tonight. Hopefully not have to come back. But
are you surprised at all with the success that we're seeing with this team?
I'm really not.
Okay.
We've been waiting for them to go on a run. Everybody thought they were better than the team that was, what were they right before June? Like 25-32.
Yep.
Everybody thought they were a better team than that, but you don't have the pitching. They've had to survive with some, young pitchers in there. Slade Ciccone, for example, he's in the bullpen now. And last night, he hung in there. It wasn't a great outing, but he was starting for them. He started a bunch of games, and he did that job because they needed him, and that was valuable. And so now they start to get, and just an example, they've had Gilbert Diaz come in. Now you've got Eduardo Rodriguez back. You've got Merrill Kelly coming back. But as for this stretch where 38-20, I guess is the number since June. I guess 38-21, counting last night. It's not it's not without that belief now that they can come back. Their offense picking up the pitching right now. The defense has been great the entire time. They're just a really sound baseball team, and really sound baseball teams that pitch and play defense, they will win most nights. But at times, the offense wasn't as explosive in May and going back to April. And now I think Perdomo coming back is a big reason why. And then you got Alec Thomas back, and it became much more of a functional offense. And, we just hope we continue to see that. They had an incredible road trip. And then last night, you get a little bit spoiled. Mark Grace and I started the post game. We're like, well, guess they're not going to come back and have this amazing comeback every night, because this is just too difficult to do. It doesn't happen all the time. And the Phillies are a quality team. And Cleveland was as well. But this is going to get interesting because Torey Lovullo after the game said that he felt like, after the doubleheader in Cleveland, traveling back, and they weren't maybe as focused as they could have been for the entire 2 hours and 40 minutes. So, as much as you say, okay, maybe we let, fine coming back on a Thursday, but they're not going to like that. They're not going to accept that. And so I expect the next 3 games to be even sharper. And even despite that, they were competitive. Jake McCarthy's homer made that a 1-run game.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of things you can point to, but this team is a very complete team. They pick each other up in all 3 phases, and I look forward to more of it coming up over the next 3 days.
I know it's a little premature. You got a lot of baseball to play, but what the moves that Mike Hazens has made, Josh Bell and Puck, and then even Kisner yesterday, there's some nice – he's made some really good moves here that could really pay off as they get closer to the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, you're just fortunate, really. Like, sometimes I think back, like, are we thankful for the Miami Marlins not being competitive this year? Because, again, they're a team that they lost to the Phillies in the wild card, but they're a team that made the wild card last year. They were on the rise, and then they had some changes in front office and all of that. And, Josh Bell was available, and AJ Puck was available. And so, yeah, it was a nice job by Mike Hazen to make that happen, because I'm sure there were other teams in the market for that. And, to bring in those type of players, quality, in 2 areas that you need it. And we didn't really know. We didn't know we needed a first baseman. And how crazy is that Christian's injury?
And with all that happening, and the other thing, too, that it strikes me that we talked about maybe a couple years ago, Jody, is when they get more power in the lineup. When they get more power, well, now, you talk about Mike Hazen, talking about power, legitimate power in the lineup besides Marte, McCarthy, Gurriel, Josh Bell, Corbin Carroll can run into one once in a while, Suarez. Oh, yeah. You look at, Christian as well. So many of those guys throughout the lineup, anybody at a particular time can take one out of the ballpark and tie a game up or take a lead. That's what I'm impressed about, that the power throughout the lineup.
It really.
I think we lost her.
Did we lose you? I think we might have lost her.
Richie? Nope. There you are.
Yeah, I guess.
Hello? You got me?
We got you,
there
Jody.
You are. You lost it for a second.
Okay. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be able to continue to hit homers at the same clip, but they're doing it right now. And Torey Lovullo says he doesn't see why they wouldn't continue to do that, because, Corbin Carroll, he's figuring things out, which is great to see. And then whether it's Christian or Josh Bell in there, you've got first base anchored down. Suarez.
Sounds like we're having some trouble with Jody. Let's try to reconnect with her, Rich. Let's hang up, try to reconnect. I think with that point, you talk about Christian Walker. You look at
still on. You guys are still on.
All right, we're not hearing it, Richie. So sorry. We'll just have to try this again another day. So we're having issues with that. So anyway, that bummer. Okay.
But I think her point is probably not by design, that the power through the lineup, which has been great. I mean, you got 7-8 guys that can go out at any particular time. And when Christian Walker comes back, Suarez is finally, getting his fair share. I mean, Josh Bell, we always knew he could go yard at any particular time. But Ketel Marte, watch what he's doing home run wise, and McCarthy, and you see him, taking out the yard periodically. And those are some of the things that you like. And I think with this team, I think they've got that complete team. Maybe the starting pitching could be a little more refined. But when you look at the speed of the outfield, they can play small ball. They can play big ball. I think the way Mike Hazen has done a phenomenal job.
I got her back if you guys want to try again.
Designing this thing is it. Jody, we got you back. What I was getting back to is the way the design that Mike Hazen has gotten gotten the power throughout the lineup. And it looks like they could play small ball, big boy ball, or all the above, the way Hazen's got this design.
No. Sorry, Rich. It's not working.
Got Jock Peterson.
I still got her.
You can't hear me?
No.
I'm here.
Yeah,
I can hear you guys.
Sorry.
but-
Yeah, Jody, we're having some issues. We're gonna say hey, we'll be watching this weekend, and we'll reconnect with you another day. So thank you for the time. We apologize.
All right.
All right. We're having some problem there. So I know, Richie, you could hear, but we couldn't. So anyway, that's Jody Jackson, of course, MLB Network. Catch her all weekend long, and you can follow her on Twitter at Jody_Jackson. As this D-backs team has won 14 of the last 19.
Yeah, you love that, and that's the thing. And they're right there in the middle of it. 3.5 games back. The Dodgers faltered, but I mean, I tell you what, I like it. I see this ball club now. Jordan Montgomery,
he's in a roller coaster, but like I
yeah.
said, he got through 5 frames, did great, got
Yeah.
in that 6th inning, and that's where you could tell you walk a batter, and then all of a sudden it just kind of wheels fell
Yeah.
off, and then he got charged with the 4 runs.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. But again, Floro comes in and does, gives up 2 hits, but no runs. But Ciccone going to the bullpen, I mean, he can still bring it, but he gives up the 2 runs, which are all, on Montgomery's back per se.
You're talking about Mike Hazen, maybe the GM of the year, if this team goes far with some of these pickups. Claiming, Andrew Kisner off of waivers of the Texas Rangers, they opt him to Triple H Reno. But you never know. A guy like that maybe gets a fresh start. He hasn't been playing well, but he's got a lot of experience, over 800 games. He's a guy that could maybe help some of these young pitchers, that whole battery. But, he may get a chance. But I am anxious to see, if we look through the crystal ball, who will be the closer for this team in the last month of the year? Who is going to be the closer?
Don't you think
Sounds like it's by committee or whoever's got the hot hand.
Yeah, I've got a funny feeling if they can get Sewald into a scenario where he feels confident with his pitches and isn't putting guys on base, walks, which befell Jordan Montgomery last night. You had the 3 walks. I think he eventually ends up back there in that role. I think things start to settle back down. I think right now there's a little shuffling going on just to kind of give Sewald a break, that mental break, whatever you want to call it. I think the other guy, when you talk about experience, Rock, is Floro. Here's another experienced veteran. He's got a lot of innings pitched. I think that is another guy who can kind of come in and calm the waters in that 6th inning or 7th inning. And I think those are some of them. But I think eventually Sewald comes back, I hope, gets him rights his ship, and they get everything back in line before they get to the wild card playoff games.
So Phillies tonight, Zach Wheeler on the mound, Ryan Nelson for the Diamondbacks. And again, tomorrow they'll go at it at like 5:30, and then an afternoon game on Monday. Merrill Kelly may get the start. It's TBA.
Yeah.
Well, sure, we'll hear something today, a little bit later in the afternoon, or maybe by now. They've made an announcement, or will make an announcement, who will be the pitcher on Sunday.
We thought that Kelly would come back prior to Erod, to tell you the truth. And they said he got up to like 60-some games in his game down
Break.
there up in Reno. So could be, hopefully. And if he comes back, how strong will he be? A bullpen, heads up.
If you're looking to take your career to the next level, how about All City Towing? They are hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, customer service personnel. They got great benefits. They have the most advanced towing equipment in the state. You set your own work schedules. They got a healthy 401k employer match, health benefits, employer paid insurance, and monthly fuel allowance. So visit them at allcitytowing.com. That's allcitytowing.com, where your future is on the move. Football at 50's next. It's Roc and Manuch today from Wright Toyota.
You ever had
ability to review the proprietary software and hold electric vehicle manufacturers.
Skills sends you great. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Get ready to turn heads with Arizona Color Vehicle Wraps, the original vehicle wrap shop. Your one-stop shop for business brands.
Yeah, I hear you now. I'm still getting some red here.
Design team specializes in everything from food trucks to business fleets. Our
red is it's just there's just a little
level. We're all bound by
And I'm going to come back with that college football.
It is back. The most electrifying thing.
Welcome to a new era of college football.
I light every bridge I see here just to watch it burn. If you've seen all the hell I've seen, it make your
Yeah, connection looks good so far. Much better than
introduce the next head football coach. We got a potential superstar on our hands. We ain't coming no more. We back. This place is gonna rock. I could tell some stories about some things you won't believe.
4 teams to 12.
College football is completely different.
We're going to see a lot of unexpected things happen.
I might hurt a little. I might work a lot. Carry down the good times. Staring down the cloud. Throw some hallelujahs to the big man in the sky. Show 'em Sunday morning.
Your life.
Just like last night. Yeah, that's how I get by.
Prepare to hear a lot of Jelly Roll this upcoming college football season, as that is the ESPN College theme song. All things college football, Get By Jelly Roll. It debuted the other day on the Pat McAfee show, and a pretty cool song.
I like it.
Of course,
good song.
Grammy nominated, Nashville native, and he is a superstar, of course. And college football kicks off on the 24th of this month as we get ready for some football.
3 short weeks away, Rock. That Labor Day weekend, get that Labor Day weekend.
Yep. Some quick football stories. It's unfortunate. Rondell Moore, former Arizona Cardinal wide receiver, he had a season-ending injury with his knee. He is out for the year. He is with the Falcons. It's not good. It was a non-contact injury during a passing play during a joint practice with the Dolphins on Wednesday. And if you remember, he got traded to Atlanta by the Cards for exchange for Desmond Ritter. And that was back in March?
Yeah, about March time frame. You just wait for this kid to break out. I mean,
Yeah.
he just really hasn't. He's been injured. I don't think they utilize him like I thought they would. I thought he'd be more of a home run hitter, a stretch guy. I mean, he's quick. He's slot receiver. I thought they utilized him last year fairly well, but I don't think they really got, was he a second rounder, or third rounder? I forget.
He was second.
Yeah, I've got what they're really looking to get out of him. And I was hoping with Kirk Cousins as his quarterback that he would finally break out and utilize and stretch the field more so. But sounds like to me, if it's a non-contact injury, maybe ACL, MCL making a cut, which is very unfortunate.
Patriots released wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster yesterday. Somewhat of a surprise. It happened after their game last night. They just didn't connect. He's now going to be a free agent, eligible to sign with any other team. I applaud the Patriots to say, okay, it's not going to fit. Let's get him out early so he has time to find another home. But he struggled last year, and a year before that he was with the Kansas City Chiefs.
32,
Super Bowl
32,
ring.
33 now. I mean, he's still, we call him now, you go from a home run hitter to a possession receiver. Doesn't mean you still can't run routes. You still catch the football. But again, I'm sure that if he keeps himself in shape, somebody might pick him up immediately, Rock. I mean, hey, he might go to the Atlanta Falcons now that Rondell Moore's out. Maybe they pick him in, bring him in, take a look at him for a couple, 2-3 preseason games, sign him to a 1-year contract, and see if he's still viable. Doesn't have the speed Rondell Moore has, but I think he's a very valuable receiver to still come in and be that possession guy. And the one thing a lot of folks don't really understand is that he's a receiver that can read defenses, understand defenses, can make the adjustments, still catches the football very, very well. So Atlanta, heads up, Juju is available.
Another guy that has Arizona Cardinal ties, Marcus Golden. He retires a week after re-signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He had appeared in 127 games, started in 68. He was a second-round pick for the Cardinals in 2015. He returned to Arizona, if you remember, after 2020, after he had a little over a year with the New York Giants.
3.
But he has been placed on the reserve retired list, 33 years old.
So
it's just odd.
Yeah, you think about, but I think when he came back to Cardinals, he just wasn't the same guy.
Yeah.
I mean, the Giants, he had a decent couple of years there, but he just wasn't that same guy. And then when he went off back to Pittsburgh, you wonder what could they could utilize out of him. But I got to tell you what, I mean, I thought, there for a while, he'd come off the edge. He was one of those guys that could put that pressure from the outside, but got away from the Cardinals, signed with the Giants. I think those were his most productive years with the Giants.
Another Arizona Cardinal that has some ties that's in the news today as it just keeps on going is Logan Thomas, the tight end. He was with the Cardinals his first year as the 49ers released him. If you remember, he was also a quarterback.
Yes.
And, he played quarterback for
a few
Arizona.
years. Yeah. He's like,
Then they switched to tight end.
Yeah. I think when he got to Washington, they flipped him wherever. But I remember him coming to preseason games. He's like 6'6", 250, big, strong arm, big guy. And I thought that was the right move. Washington maybe played in Buffalo for a little bit. I can't recollect all the way. But he was good athlete, ran well. And he's the kind of guy that you made the conversion quite nice, to tell you the truth.
He was Cardinals, Dolphins, Giants, Lions, Bills, Lions, Commanders, 49ers.
So
not necessarily played as your practice
sure,
spots,
yeah.
Mix it in there.
I think a couple of those teams he tried quarterbacks.
For good quarterback at Virginia Tech.
He was
pretty good coming out of
big,
college.
strong guy. Could throw that ball down the field, but just wasn't his position. And he played anywhere he went. It was pretty much stacked up with quarterbacks. I looked at his size, a big kid. I was like, try tight end. And I remember him mostly with the Commanders as far as the success that he had. It seemed like he had that mostly success with the Commanders more than anybody in reference to playing the tight end position. Tough transition. The only guy I could think of was going from quarterback to tight end was Crash Jensen. Remember Crash Jensen with the Miami Dolphins? Number 11. Started off as a quarterback with the Dolphins. They moved him to tight end. Had a successful career at tight end with the Miami Dolphins. And few guys make that transition from quarterback to any position.
Football 50 is brought to you by El Bandino Yankee Tequila. Break out the Bandino. It's the official tequila of Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Experience it for yourself. Ask for it at your favorite watering hole. Break out the Bandino. Hour number 2, handicapper Scott Spreitzer from DocSports.com. He will break down some of the preseason games as well as USA France in the gold medal final men's basketball game, and we'll also get into some Olympics right out of the gate. So that's coming up next as we continue from Wright Toyota. It's Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B. Fox Sports 910.
Clear. Yeah, the connection was great. There were no drops or anything.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B has been sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing.
Book lovers, are you on the hunt for incredible deals?
ThriftBooks.com
has millions of titles available for under $5. Stock up for back to school and beyond without breaking the bank. And grab the hottest book talk sensations at unbeatable prices at ThriftBooks.com. Read more, spend less.
Cam found out that group chats between different phones aren't private
or encrypted.
Thank you. We only text in code.
Yes, which I created. I created a code.
Yes, which can be a little annoying.
Wait, was that your attempt at the code?
You already forgot the code, didn't you?
I should have written it down.
The place to safely send messages between different devices. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
Joe Brown here with Accident Law Group. If you were hurt in an accident, find us on the web at accidentlawgroup.com.
Broadcasting from the Raffi Law Group studio. This is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD3 Phoenix. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app, the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics.
Suns don't have their schedule yet, but reports say they'll play the Nuggets on Christmas Day. The official NBA schedule for the upcoming season is expected to be released soon. The Cardinals begin their preseason tomorrow when they take on the Saints. Fox Sports 910 will have the action for the Cowboys and Rams coming up Sunday afternoon. The D-backs continue their series with the Phillies after dropping yesterday's opener. Ryan Nelson on the mound. Merrill Kelly on track to rejoin the starting rotation for Sunday's finale. Kalia Copper at 11, Brittany Grinder 5, and Team USA's win against Australia. Diana Taurasi was held scoreless in the game. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
For your Friday, look for a slight chance of showers and even a possibility of a thunderstorm for today, but that daytime high, not bad, 106. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with that overnight low, 91. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by Sheraton at Wild Horse Pass.
Hey, it's Brooke. My family and I are so excited about our upcoming stay at the Sheraton Grand at Wild Horse Pass. They've got a great spa, great family activities, and more. Book your stay now using promo code ZX0 and receive a $100 resort credit. WildHorsePassResort.com.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B is sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing.
Spend an unforgettable night with Brett Michaels, September 21st only at Talking Stick Resort. It's the Rock in the Desert Party Gras. Enjoy special drink offers, thrilling contests with incredible prizes, and exciting casino giveaways throughout the night. It's time to rock out with
Open in 30.
Saturday, September 21st. Tickets are on sale now. Visit TalkingStickResort.com.
When you use your electric vehicle in autopilot or self-driving mode, accidents can still happen. Whether you're considered at fault or not, you may still have a claim. Lerner and Rowe
And I
has
do
a
have
dedicated
the
team skilled in
women's
this new
4x100
We are the first law
audio
firm in
ready to
America
play.
with the ability to review the proprietary software and
Yep,
hold
here we go.
electric vehicle manufacturers responsible. If you or a loved one were injured in an electric vehicle accident, call Lerner and Rowe today.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Calling all sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In a wreck and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. And always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. On Fox Sports 910.
Great Britain out front. They will hand off first. Amy Hunt is making the exchange to Daryl Needham. Here comes Sha'Carri Richardson. Look to the far side. Sha'Carri's got him covered. All the way to the line.
You're live.
Wins gold.
How about that? Well, track and field.
Nice.
As Team USA continues to have so much success as they're up to 111 medals right now. I mean, clearly just dominating. I mean, gold, unfortunately, is pretty still close to China, but they've taken the lead on that as well. But, you know, it's been great to see what they've been able to do, especially the ladies. The women have done great, as you just heard. But for the fifth Olympics in a row, Team USA in men, the 4x100 relay, are not getting a medal. As unfortunately today, they had a disqualification as they kind of messed up the interchange, the exchange, with the baton, and they got disqualified.
They had trouble with that in the heat that they ran last night. You would hope that they'd have got that taken care of, but not. But Rob, you talk about the medals. The USA 27 medals ahead of China, 54 medals ahead of Great Britain, who's in third place. So as you mentioned, 111 to 84 to 57. Currently, it looks as though it's all tied up, 33 golds apiece between China and the USA. Boy, I hate to hear that. That 4x100 relay team of the men was they kicked butt yesterday, but they did have some issues with the baton. You thought they might have went and got that straightened out somewhere, and unfortunate, but nice to see the women get that taken care of.
Women's basketball, they head to their 8th straight Olympic final as they took care of all. Consecutive Olympic Games. That is pretty amazing.
Pretty dominant, wouldn't you say? I mean, that is. I don't know if anybody can challenge them. I mean, you get this gold medal game, but I think the better game will be the men versus France. That'll be tomorrow, 12:30 our time. As far as watching that's concerned, I just don't feel when you think about that men's basketball game. We're going to do this more as far as some of the odds would have with Scott Spreitzer at the bottom of the hour. But I just think that if the USA just comes out with the same kind of intensity they did in the second half against Serbia in yesterday's game, this team should, I would think, cruise versus this French team. They got Wembanyama. He's an opposing threat, but they just don't have enough talent. I don't think, that being the French, to handle this USA team, which I feel should dominate tomorrow's game. So be fun to watch that game tomorrow and hopefully bring that gold home the women as well.
So only a couple more days, and then it'll be all done. But a very successful few weeks for Team USA. Ratings are pretty strong. We're going to dive into a little sports business in a bit. We'll get into that next segment. But, anxious to see, how they all finish and they all come back to the United States, go back to their hometowns, get the parades, all that good stuff that you hope.
Get their cash.
We had a few Arizona people,
Sure.
that have had some success.
Yeah.
So
you think of the gymnast from Phoenix, she did very, very well. I just think that you look at overall with the Summer Olympics. I watched last night was pretty much all track that they had. And that was fun to watch a lot of those heats and a lot of those things. But you look at just the dominance, you're China, this so-called, country that's their athletes work 24/7, 365. They work for the government. They get paid by the government. Just goes to show our resiliency and the talent that we have to be 27 medals ahead of them and 54 ahead of Great Britain. I will say this, watching Great Britain's track program, and Jamaica seemed to falter this year. Great Britain really stepped up, as well as France. Look at their track programs, especially the sprinters.
France needed to step up.
Yeah, they've got all of 14 goals. They've only got 56. I shouldn't say only 56. They're in fourth place as far as total medals at 56.
Some college football news here at top of the hour. Florida State and the ACC have scheduled some meetings, some mediation to get out of the ACC. So Florida State is doing everything they can. They got a legal dispute, and they made a significant step by getting to this phase, an in-person discussion where both sides will be a neutral mediator that will basically not necessarily make a decision there, but at least give both sides some advice. But just because Florida State wants out, where are they going to go?
Well,
do we know if because the SEC doesn't want them?
Well, I know that the Big 12 is open for business, as the commissioner said.
Yeah.
You know what? It's interesting that they're gone to mediation because the ACC about a month ago said there's no way Florida State and Clemson are going anywhere. So it must have gotten to the point where, okay, can we get a mediator involved here to try to resolve this because we just don't want to be here? Now, I'm going to ask you, Rock. I mean, who holds the cards here? Is it the ACC? Is it Florida State?
Florida State.
I mean, if they say,
these conferences don't have any juice anymore.
Well, here's the thing:
when the governing body doesn't have any juice, how can these conferences?
Because everybody has a price, right? And I think that if Florida State throws a big enough offer in this mediation at the ACC, commissioners, governing board, whatever you want to call it, says, "Look, you're asking for $300 million. How about we pay you? If we pay you $400 million, we pay you out over a period of time. We'll give you $200 million now, and the next $200 million over the next 10 years." I got to believe, to your point, that everybody's got a price. If they're going to make that kind of money, and then they can go after anybody else that they want, and then Clemson's going to go, okay, we're next. Can we move on to, I don't know, the SEC? Can we move on to the Big 10 or the Big 12? Everybody's got a price.
Yeah, and Clemson also fighting the League Two to get out. They got two separate lawsuits that are playing out in both South Carolina and North Carolina. Now, the cases are different, but the goal is the same. They all are looking for an inexpensive way to get out.
Well,
and they're both going to get out. But unfortunately, these grant rights are all tied into the TV contract.
Exactly right.
And that's what it comes down to, because here you are, ESPN, and you spend all this money to have the ACC, and if you're going to lose to the biggest anchors of that conference, you're going to be pissed off.
Well, I can almost see the ACC on one side of the arbitrator and Florida State or Clemson on the other side. And basically, hey, ACC, telling Florida State, what's your price? I can almost see like a guy writing on a pad and then tearing that paper off and kind of sliding over to the Florida State guy, him taking a look at that price that they want, gulping, and just kind of staring at it, for a little bit going, okay. It's at some point, Florida State and Clemson are going to have to pay up literally if they feel that strongly of getting out of the ACC. It's the only thing I can think of. And I just think that ACC is going to give them a ridiculous number because of the monies they're going to lose, the TV monies, and all the above. If they can give them over and above of what they're asking for, and Florida State can go to their coffers and cut a check for $400 million, then at what point? And then you get $400 million, go poach somebody else if you're at ACC.
The thing is wouldn't it be an advantage if you have the money to be an independent?
Well, as long as you're tied, like Notre Dame, tied to a conference. If you're tied to a conference, you're independent. Okay, I get it. I see that.
And they're tied to NBC too.
Exactly.
So if you're Florida State and you could be tied to a particular network, let's just say it's CW, or that's who Pac-12 are. Well, there's two teams. Well, does that give you any advantage?
I don't.
Because at the end of the day, as football fans, we're going to find it and we're going to watch it.
Sure.
We don't give a how much the conferences are getting paid or how much the networks are paying the schools. We're going to watch it.
Well,
and if you're an independent and Florida State can schedule a Big Four game, a Power Four game, I should say, every single Saturday.
Yeah, that's
how's the network not going to want to see Florida State play Alabama if those other schools will play them?
I would agree, but I think on the other side, ACC is going. We're not the ACC without Florida State and Clemson. We're not the same. Yeah, we got North Carolina, we got NC State. At what point is enough where they're going? You can sue us, but we're not going to give. There's got to be a number, and I think that if Florida State and Clemson comes up with that number, then I think they'll move on. And I think you've got the Big 12 right there waiting to take either one of them on. You got the Big 10, SEC. I think SEC would be a natural for both of them.
And maybe it is going on, but I'd be surprised if Clemson and Florida State aren't behind the scenes, similar to what USC and UCLA did to go to the Big Ten, that they're in talks, that they're going to go together. They're going to present some deal to the SEC or to the Big 12 or to the Big 10, whoever it is. I personally would love to see them in the Big 10.
But
I would love to see them in the Big 10. I already think the Big 10 is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty phenomenal.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
But
SEC is the SEC, but SEC still got some teams like Vanderbilt and some of these lower teams that.
Don't you think though, like if the Big 12 adds Florida State and Clemson, like I mean, we all before the whole conference realignment, we thought that there was going to be a Power 2 conference, Big 10, and eventually SEC. But if the Big 12 could somehow land Florida State, Clemson, I mean, they get a seat at the table, right? I mean, the Big 12
they get a seat, but they don't get the big seat because let's be honest,
but
Big 12
they'll be more relevant than if the ACC were to stick around. I mean, the ACC is going to eventually tumble.
The Big 12, I don't know. I know you're Manuch, you're a Big 8 guy, Big 12 guy. I think the Big 12 is so light. Come on.
Basketball, though.
All right, we're talking football, but yes, okay, basketball. I think you could blow it all up.
I think the addition of Utah, the addition of K-State, Utah.
K-State?
Well, K-State's going to be in the hunt for the championship this year, Big 12 championship.
Okay,
they'll be right there. Utah's always going to be in that hunt.
Come on,
I mean,
let's just be honest. When you look at the Big 12, you look at the Big 12, you look at the schools. If Texas and OU were still there, okay, I'm with you. You bring in Clemson, you bring in Florida State, then let's talk.
Okay,
then we get to the table. But right now, that conference, you pick up ASU and U of A?
Well, ASU, U of A. Well, again, the basketball side.
Utah, Colorado.
But here's the thing. I think Florida State trumps Oklahoma. Clemson trumps Oklahoma. They've moved on to SEC. They don't trump Texas.
Slow down. Wait a second. Florida State trumps
Oklahoma since they moved to the SEC. So you come to the Big 12. And I think Clemson trumps Oklahoma as well, too. They come to the Big 12. Texas, I put them above Florida State and Clemson.
That's tough,
They've
man.
moved
Clemson,
on.
Florida State, trumping OU.
Absolutely.
You look at OU and the
Absolutely.
success they've had in national championships and playing in big bowl games. I don't know. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I would love to see. I would love to see. Well, let's just say last 6 years, 7 years. I like to see what the Power 5 at the time records are for Florida State, Clemson, and Oklahoma playing against each other. And,
State,
those type of level programs.
Clemson, their national titles. Florida State's starting to come back to where they were under Coach Norvell. Now, he's bringing them back like last year.
By the way, a little bit later, I thought this was super cool. MSNBC put together a ranking of the toughest top 25 college schedules for the teams. ASU's 11 on that list. Number one was Florida. We'll dive into it, but it's pretty interesting to see why they came up with that, who the opponents are. But I think it's pretty cool stuff. So we will get that up. We'll get that information. I think it's a good topic. We can get into that. Well, NBA is going to feature 5 games on Christmas. Warner Brothers Discovery, they reported some Q2 earnings that missed expectations. We got some sports bar gossip that affects you because ESPN Plus and some others going up. Talk some sports business next on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
Twin Peaks wants to upgrade your home viewing experience with a new big screen TV. Enter for a chance to win your choice of a smart TV up to 85 inches by texting PEAKS to 59925. Standard message and data rates may apply. That's PEAKS to 59925.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Have you been charged with a crime you didn't commit? It happens more than you think. When your liberty is on the line, you need an experienced attorney that will aggressively fight for you. Lerner & Rowe Law Group handles DUI and all other criminal charges. And with our affordable payment plans, it's easier than you think to get the defense you need. If the police made a mistake, call Lerner & Rowe today. We're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to take your call.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
What's up, guys? Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing. Monsoon season is upon us. Be proactive today. Go to state48roofing.com. Scan the QR code below. We want to take care of you. Be proactive. Get your maintenance done. We are home of the hashtag sexy roof status.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence dyne test under high-load conditions versus API SP test limits.
Looking for a place where everyone is welcome? Come to Azul Bar and Grill in Phoenix. Not your typical sports bar, Azul is the ultimate hangout spot for friends and families alike. Enjoy live music, catch your favorite games, play some fun games, and savor delicious food in a vibrant atmosphere. Visit us at 3134 West Carefree Highway in the Tremonto Plaza. Don't miss out on our daily events and specials at azulgrill.com. Azul Bar and Grill, a great time, but a better time with you.
Now back to the Roc and Manuch Show, live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the selection, and always right on the price. Wright Toyota, 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale, and online at wrighttoyota.com.
You're live.
So the other day, the White Sox hired 3-time All-Star Grady Sizemore to be their interim manager. But did you know, random fact today, last year, he took a $15 an hour internship with the D-backs because all the other positions were taken.
Grady Sizemore?
Yes.
The Grady Sizemore?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
You know, well, hey, got to start somewhere, right, Rock?
Yeah, do those internships. How about that?
Absolutely.
NBA's Christmas Day slate, 5 games this year. It'll be the Spurs, the Knicks, Timberwolves, Mavs, 76ers, Celtics, Lakers, Warriors, and Nuggets and Suns. I hope the Suns show up this year. If you remember last year against the Dallas Mavericks, wasn't good. Luka went off for 50 points. They lost 128 to 114 at home. That was a Monday night. That was Christmas.
That's a great slate. Lakers and taking on the Golden State Warriors, and Suns taking on the Nuggets. That'll be good, full of football and basketball that day.
It's $15 billion is the number. That's the daily digit today. That's a combined amount of write-downs or write-offs announced this week with Paramount and Warner Brothers Discovery, as their quarterly earnings in the recent days have gone down. And a lot of that is because they lost the media rights for the NBA. Their valuation kind of went down big time, went from $9 billion to $6 billion just by losing the NBA, which rightfully so. We heard this week that Charles Barkley is going to continue on TNT, as TNT is going to keep the show in some capacity. He was on the Dan Patrick Show, and he mentioned that he doesn't know what that's going to look like, but TNT is going to, at least try to keep that show. I'm anxious if they will have the rights to show highlights.
Good question. Good question. As long as,
because if you just paid billions of dollars for the rights, why would you give your product to a competitor, one that's been around a long time, that's had incredible success, and allow them to use your marks, to use your footage, all that good stuff.
Unless I don't know how that works, Rock. You know more than anybody. You acknowledge that comes from a certain source.
Well, yeah, but I mean, maybe they can put something, or maybe they already did put something in their contract.
Well, okay, so the lawsuit,
agreement, who knows?
That might be with the lawsuit. They're going to go after Amazon because they had the first right of refusal, that being TNT. So maybe they've worked something out that they can use the highlights from Amazon and Warner Brothers and et cetera, and drop the lawsuit in order to use their footage. I mean, there might be something there, but I haven't seen or heard of the lawsuit being dropped going after the NBA in reference to the first right of refusal and not giving them, or since they did match it, and staying with TNT. I mean, I think that's still limbo land, unless they work something out, to your point, that they can use the footage and keep it and keep their show.
Roku, you may know Roku. You may have a smart TV that has Roku. They are launching a sports channel, and it's an advertising-based video on demand, AVOD, that basically puts all of their sports programming under one roof. It's going to be called FAST Channel, and that stands for Free Ad-Supported Streaming Television. It's going to launch on Monday. It's going to stream 24/7. They don't have a sponsor for it yet, but they're going to have some studio shows like the Rich Eisen Show, and then Good Morning Football Overtime. They do have some licensed sports properties with Sunday leadoff. If you remember when the Diamondbacks were playing Philly, they had that 11:30 early start because the game was on Roku. They got Formula E, which I'm not familiar with, WNBA G League, so you get to watch the Suns G League team. Also, they got a bunch of WNBA and WWE stuff. So watch out for Roku as they're trying to make a play. Also, Disney is raising their prices for Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus. It'll cost you another couple bucks a month starting in October.
There's just someone that we probably don't subscribe to. I think the only thing we ever used the Disney channel, Disney Plus, I believe, was when the Elton John concert was on about a year ago in LA. So we paid for that particular show and then canceled it. But ESPN Plus, some of the others, hardly ever use them because I think I get enough coverage on since I've got Cox. And then you just go to the internet on top of that.
The Savannah Bananas, the kind of globetrotters for baseball, TNT and True TV, they're going to add 5 weeks of Friday night games. The first one will be next Friday. It's called the Banana World Tour, and they are going to broadcast them through the 13th. So that'd be kind of cool if you're into watching that. Those games are 2 hours.
They're fun.
They're a lot of fun. It's a great product.
A lot of fun.
They sell out everywhere they go. E60 on ESPN is going to have the women's volleyball for the University of Nebraska. They're having a documentary called No Place Like Nebraska, and it's going to be chronicles that'll be from last season, and that'll debut in a couple weeks. It'll also be on ESPN.
80-some thousand at that volleyball game last year.
Yeah, that was nuts.
That was crazy.
Bristol Motor Speedway is going to host a baseball game. Major League Baseball in next year, as the Braves and Reds are going to play for Bristol Motor Speedway. It's not the first time they've done something like this.
Yeah.
They had Tennessee Virginia Tech in a college football game back in 2016. But these big speedways, they're open all year long.
Yes.
Other than 2 weeks of the year when they're getting ready for their big race. And in some races like Phoenix and Bristol, they have multiple races, but they need to find revenue streams, and here they are. They're going to do some baseball.
I'm anxious to see when they go back to the Field of Dreams like they did. Was that a couple years ago?
Yeah.
That was fun. They just said that the home run distance was maybe 300 max for those. But that kind of stuff like that, it was on the end. Was a 25-year anniversary they did a couple years ago.
Sure.
That's fun to see different venues like that with Major League Baseball.
And finally, as we finish up our sports business news, the NCAA Board of Governors yesterday unanimously approved $25 million in additional funding for D1 that'll be put directly to women's basketball.
So they're hyping it up. They want to hype that up.
They got a taste of it.
They got a good flavor. Thank you, Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
She get a percentage of that, Rock? She get a commission for that?
She really should. Our State 48 Roofing It's Your Call question of the day, we have a couple of them, but the one that I want to get into right now has to do with the NFL, new stadiums. Don't be shocked if we don't hear some rumblings in the next few years that State Farm needs to be renovated or needs to change. It's just the way it works. All of a sudden it'll be one of the older stadiums in all of football. But, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stadiums right now that are getting ready, or there's plans to build. And they're billion-plus stadiums. Some are approved, some have been proposed. The Bills, it's already been approved. That's $1.5 billion. In Nashville, the Titans, $2.1 billion. That has been approved. The Bears, $4.7 billion. Wow. That's been proposed, not approved. The Jags, $1.4 billion approved. And the Cleveland Browns this week, a place called Brook Park, which is about 15 miles outside of downtown Cleveland, which is unfortunate because downtown Cleveland, the Flats, rejuvenated over the last 20 years because of the Jake and the baseball and the new stadium for the Cleveland Browns when they came back. And it just really made downtown a lot of fun. And unfortunately now they're going to probably go outside to a suburb, Brook Park. It's actually where my grandparents, where my dad was from. And it's, like I said, it's 15 minutes outside of Cleveland. That's been proposed at $2.4 billion, and it's got a roof on it.
Well, and I know that the Kansas City Chiefs, Kansas City, Kansas has already approved. They've already voted that they would love to have the Chiefs and the Royals on this side of the river. And I believe the way I looked at it is it was the city at that point in time was going to contribute a large portion to build those two facilities if the Chiefs decide to cross the river. You got to think about it because you talk about renovations. I mean, the city council, I should say the city, the constituents of Kansas City, Missouri, have shot down any kind of renovation or taxpayer dollar renovations for the Chiefs and I believe it was Kauffman Stadium and Royal Stadium. They've shot that down. So interesting to see where the money is going to come from in reference to those people. And by the way, as you mentioned, Rock, do you think the taxpayer dollars should be used to help fund NFL stadiums? Go to Roc and Manuch. Yes is only at 21.4%. No, 78.6%. So the constituents out there saying no, that being to the tune of 78.6%.
Yeah, I'm for it, especially if you just put a tax in that district, in that entertainment district. I'm okay with it.
I feel I would vote for it because I think you're as a city, you're going to gain all the money back for Super Bowls, for all the large events.
If you get Super Bowls, you just don't necessarily know that. But
like Jared Colangelo
you're going to put a Super Bowl in Cleveland? Are you going to put a Super Bowl in Buffalo?
Well, if they got a roof on it, they would.
They may, but they may not have enough hotels. That's something you got to consider. So anyway, coming up, sports handicapper Scott Spreitzer. He talks about some of the latest lines for the preseason games. We'll do Eagles, Ravens, Packers, Browns, Saints, Cardinals, and then we'll flip it to some Olympics and get his thoughts on USA, France. That's next. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B from Wright Toyota.
Clear. This is what's trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix.
The Cardinals release linebacker Marquise Haynes ahead of tomorrow's preseason opener with the Saints. Don't forget, Fox Sports 910 will have coverage of the Cowboys-Rams game on Sunday. The Suns don't have their schedule yet, but reports say they'll play the Nuggets Christmas Day. The official NBA schedule release is expected soon. Kalia Copper scored 11 points. Brittany Griner at 5 in Team USA's win against Australia. Diana Taurasi was held scoreless. The D-backs pitch Ryan Nelson in tonight's contest against the Phillies. Merrill Kelly is on track to rejoin the starting rotation for Sunday's series finale. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910. Available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Have you been arrested for something you didn't do? When your liberty is on the line, you need an aggressive, experienced attorney to defend your rights. Lerner & Rowe Law Group is the firm you can trust with your freedom. Our criminal defense attorneys have represented thousands of clients across the state, and with our affordable payment plans, you can get the defense you need immediately. If you've been wrongly charged with a crime, time is not on your side. Call Lerner & Rowe today for a free consultation. We're available to help you 24/7.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Twin Peaks wants to upgrade your home viewing experience with a new big screen TV. Enter for a chance to win your choice of a smart TV up to 85 inches by texting PEAKS to 59925. Standard message and data rates may apply. That's PEAKS to 59925.
Hey, it's Jax, co-host of Take the Points, the only local sports gambling radio show in Arizona. Tune in every Saturday from 11 to 1, live right here from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. Let's cash some tickets.
Scott's ready.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Book lovers, are you on the hunt for incredible deals? ThriftBooks.com has millions of titles available for under $5. Stock up for back to school and beyond without breaking the bank. And grab the hottest book talk sensations at unbeatable prices at ThriftBooks.com. Read more, spend less.
Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Now back to the Roc and Manuch Show, live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the selection, and always right on the price. Wright Toyota, 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale, and online at wrighttoyota.com. Time to break down this weekend's biggest games with one of the nation's premier handicappers. From DocSports.com and seen every week on ESPN's Sunday Countdown, he's Scott Spreitzer. And he's here to help make sure your picks pay out with Roc and Manuch on Fox Sports 910.
All right, we got 3 preseason games that we'll get into, as well as USA France in the men's gold medal for the men's basketball. But Scott Spreitzer joins us, as you heard the big voice guy. How we doing today, Scott? What's Good Friday to you?
Doing well, guys. Just wait for the games to kick off. And even preseason football, it's tough to turn off the NFL. So looking forward to it.
I love it. All right, let's start with the birds of feather. We'll flock together as you got the Eagles and Ravens. Maybe an early preview of Super Bowl 59, which I'm hoping as an Eagles fan.
You, Rock.
But the Ravens, they had that streak of 24 or whatever it was, consecutive victories. They don't like to lose, and Harbaugh's got a really good record against the spread in the preseason. So how you handicap this one?
Yeah, 24 straight wins in preseason games at one point, and they were 22-1-1 against the spread.
Jeez.
So every preseason, since second game of 2016, I just bet blindly against the on the Baltimore Ravens, on the Baltimore Ravens throughout preseason football. And then last year we saw them now lose 4 straight preseason games against the spread. And what happened was, with that historic win streak, the books react. They started making you pay a premium with the Baltimore Ravens. And now, though, I really think there's been a bit of an overreaction the other way. I mean, you look at the Eagles, they're 1-6-2 in their last 9 preseason games under Sirianni, averaging less than 17 points per game. And then you got tonight's likely quarterback rotation, Tanner McKee, Kenny Pickett, Will Grier. They're not likely to play their stars from what I'm reading for more than a series, maybe not at all. I believe Baltimore's preseason quarterback rotation is better. You've got Josh Johnson, who's been around. You've got Devin Leary, the rookie out of Kentucky, who's going to get some chances. And when the teams met last year, guys, McKee was 10 for 20. Johnson was 8 for 12 in preseason action. And then you look at the line. Baltimore opened a 3-point favorite on August 1st. They're now a 2-point dog. Last preseason, when the majority handle came in on one team and the line moved at least 3 points, those teams only went 3-13 against the spread. So that would signal a potential play against Philly here. I could see Philly winning the first half. I think Sirianni has a little bit to prove this season, but I think the Ravens are going to win the game and get back to starting a new win streak for Harbaugh.
Did you say Josh Johnson, that the one that came in for Brock Purdy? The playoff, and he's been around for 35 years, hasn't he?
I think he just filed for ARP, if I heard right. But it's funny because that's what I like. He's not been let's just call it the way it is. He's not been a good regular season quarterback when he has his chances. He did not look good for San Francisco. However, in preseason football, I like these guys. 8 of 12 in this matchup last year. I mean, Cleo Lemon was one of my favorite preseason football quarterbacks years ago. So I like these guys who have experience, knowledge of the game when it comes to preseason.
Boy, you'd have been all over my games, right? Manuch back there, backup quarterback preseason. I'd be shining in those preseason games there, Scott.
If I was betting preseason football back then, I would have been all over Manuch.
All right, let's look at the second game, the Packers at the Browns. Browns minus 3.5. How do you look at this preseason game?
Well, this one has shot up, guys, to 5.5 now. And Cleveland opened 3. you know, you look at the Packers, and they've not really cared a whole lot about preseason results when it comes to the scoreboard. They've lost 7 in a row as a preseason underdog, 0-6-1 against the spread. And if you look at the way they've done on the road in general in preseason play, they've only covered 1 of the last 8. So what I've seen so far, both coaches have said their starters will play in this game with the exception of Deshaun Watson for Cleveland. And then I was listening a little bit to Matt LaFleur in a couple of his press conferences this week, and he has said that playing his starters in preseason last year, he thought helped accelerate, his words, their understanding and comfort level for the regular season. So he's going to play starters a bit. So will Cleveland. I believe the reason that the bettors have hit Cleveland in the sports books is due to the Browns' rotation behind center, because it goes Jameis Winston, Ty Huntley, and Dorian Thompson-Robinson, DTR. So I like preseason teams in the second half when they have those mobile, they can move quarterbacks, they can escape pressure when all else fails, and a lot fails in the second half of preseason games. I lean Cleveland, not crazy about that line move, though.
All right, Cardinals, Saints tomorrow night. Cards still minus 1.5?
Saints are now 1.5 and up to 2
Oh.
in some books, and that just all changed in the last 90 minutes or so.
Okay.
And it looks like we won't see many main starters for either team in this one, main starters. The Saints have a bunch of injuries, by the way, and they're of the bumps and bruises variety right now. I did read that they're down to 6 receivers for this game, so you're not going to see a high receiver rotation for the Saints. So we get Desmond Ridder and Clayton Tune battle, the battle for Arizona, and they'll have, I guess, it looks like they're going to have Marvin Harrison Jr. on the field, according to reports. I think they can get ahead early. You might see Derek Carr for the Saints the way they're talking. I don't know if we will. They need to get used to a new offensive coordinator in New Orleans. I'm going to pass this game, guys. I'm not the biggest Desmond Ridder fan in regular season play, but I like, again, that we have what we can now call an NFL vet with solid starting experience fighting for a backup spot.
Well, on top of that, with the Saints, I don't know if Hayner's going to start. We got Spencer Rattler, who's from the Valley here. He might get a lot of playing time. I believe Derek Carr is, as far as I know right now, he's not going to be playing, correct?
Yeah, I've heard both. I've heard a minor chance he plays, but like I was saying, I doubt we see him. And you just mentioned they've got a couple of guys they need to look at and give some, snaps to, including Rattler. And the only way I could see that Derek Carr even goes at all is if they really feel that they need to get him used to the offensive coordinator situation in New Orleans. But I don't know. Reading between the lines, I don't think he's going to go.
All right. Team USA and France.
Mañana.
Talk to us. And how did it all go down yesterday? We were on the air when it went down, and I lost my ass. I had minus 17, and then I had it minus 11. And then when it went to plus 4.5, plus 5, I jumped on it with a little play just so I could maybe win a few bucks. But that was a rough one for me yesterday. So what do you got for me tomorrow?
Well, the good thing is the positive is that one of us won. So
yeah.
I actually took all those points with Serbia on Thursday and got the best of both worlds. Cashed the bet, which is the most important thing. But also we had Team USA advancing to the gold medal game, so got the best of both there. But my instincts, guys, my betting instincts say that this was a wake-up call for the Americans. My handicap makes it tough for me to back France for one key reason. The French have a weak backcourt, relatively speaking. One of my Olympic bets thus far was Dennis Schrader over 18.5 points against France, and he finished, I think it was with 24, easily going over because the backcourt for the French is not that great. The best thing that happened to France, guys, the last 2 games, they sat Rudy Gobert. They cut his playing time, and that allows Wembanyama to dominate on defense and become a factor, too, on offense, even when he's not shooting the ball. The tough issue for Wemby, he's only making 38% of his shots and like 28% of his threes, and he's looked gassed on offense thanks to everything he's done on defense. Now he's got to face Bam Adebayo, Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid. Are you kidding me? Serbia can shoot from anywhere in the arena like we saw, on Thursday. France is not a quality shooting squad. I like Curry. He woke up against the Serbs. He goes up against a mediocre backcourt. I think USA got their wake-up call, guys, and I think they go in and win going away. And I like actually USA minus the points in the gold medal game.
I was going to say, we talked about that yesterday. You saw a completely different team at halftime yesterday. And to your point, got the wake-up call. I think they come out guns a-blazing, just too much talent. And don't you believe they win this basketball game going away?
I do. 25-point win in that neighborhood. I really do.
Now, what did it open at? And I see right now online it's like 16. What is it? Did it open higher or lower?
Yeah, right now there are some 16.5s out there, but there's also a lot of 16s. This line opened about 14.5 at a lot of books, and that sharp money just came, poured in on USA. And it hasn't been a lot of public money that's moved it. It's been sharp.
3.
The public, except for games like the gold medal game, doesn't really bet the Olympics a lot with any kind of big money. So I like being on the sharp side here. I think USA, they'll win this by more than 20 points.
Could you see a scenario where the spread will creep up to 18 or 19?
It might tomorrow. I mean, you might. I think it won't get to 18. I think there's a good shot we could see 17 and a half with the way that it's moved. But I think if it got to 18, you might start seeing some buyback the other way on France. And at that point, I would still bet USA, guys. So I'm in a situation here where I may lose this game, but my handicap is certainly on USA by more than 20.
Scott, as always, buddy, thank you. Have a great weekend. Talk to you next week.
All right, guys. Good luck. Take care.
You got it. Scott Spreitzer joining us, DocSports.com. You can follow him on Twitter, X, at Scott Wins. So right now, U.S. minus 16, over under is 175.
175. I mean, that's a big number. I mean, talk about blowing out the doors. Maybe it's something along the lines of USA 101 to 85 or something like that. That would be a big, big number. I love what he said about when he's handicapping preseason game, looking at the backup quarterbacks with experience, going with those guys that have got that experience and have been there and done that when they sit the starters. So the backup quarterbacks get a lot of love from the handicappers in Vegas, Rock. I got to love that.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I hear you.
Yeah, I just went a little deep on this. I'm playing catch up.
2.
Yeah. I won women's today.
Okay.
Yeah, they covered, which was good.
Good.
But as you know, I got destroyed yesterday.
Yeah, you got beat up yesterday, Rock.
I mean, I got beat up like a Sunday football.
Yeah.
For those degenerate gamblers like myself that like to bet football, NFL football on a Sunday, you bet those couple of games, in the morning, and then depending on how you do, you may chase the second half, and then if you're totally screwed, you're putting a lot of money on that Sunday night game, and then you always got Monday to fall back on too. But for this Olympics, you're just because you're playing with your heart too.
Sure.
NFL is a little bit different to bet. You're actually playing off of matchups. You're playing off of guys that are hurt, not hurt. But here, you're playing with pride. You're betting with pride, I should say.
You're thinking with your heart versus your head.
Yeah, I mean, I thought for sure they were going to beat Serbia by 17.
We all did. I mean, but do I sense some trepidation there, Rocky? You just kind of hesitant, or are you going to get back on that horse?
I already bet it.
Oh, you're good. You're dialed in.
I took them on 16.
Okay.
I think the same thing. I think it's a wake up call.
Yeah, I think it was too.
And I think they need to prove that what happened yesterday wasn't a fluke.
Yeah.
And that they, because, man, what would the narrative be today across the United States if they would have lost and they're playing for the bronze?
Yeah.
That would have sucked.
Well, you want people to think that was a fluke.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I don't care what people think. I want the players to think that, hey, they need to show that they should be able to dominate.
I think they will. I think they learned that valuable lesson that they're going to come out just getting after right from the get-go.
God, I hope so. Coming up, Patrick Mahomes forgot to wear his pants at practice. You're going to hear that and what it reminded me of. And, Nebraska football, a lot of followers here. They actually flipped a key recruiting target from Oregon. We'll tell you about that. And if we have some time, we'll go through the ranking of the toughest schedules in college football this upcoming season. It's Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910 from Right Toyota.
Crest Insurance is about more.
Hey, Rock, do you want that college football music again, or do you want Football 50?
We offer access to a national network of trusted carriers. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, we're here to help with a personal touch that's close to home. We're deeply invested in our communities, supporting local charities and initiatives that uplift those in need. Crest Insurance. Coverage you can trust. Service you can count on.
Any car dealer in Arizona can compete on price. That's what dealers do. But not many dealers can compete on customer satisfaction. Like Wright Toyota. Make the right choice. Wright Toyota in Scottsdale, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and online at wrighttoyota.com.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. I often get asked, how can Lerner and Rowe effectively handle DUI and criminal cases when you guys are a personal injury law firm? The answer is simple. We're good at it. Lerner and Rowe Law Group is a separate law firm from Lerner Rowe Injury Attorneys. Our criminal defense attorneys have represented thousands of clients across the state. And with our affordable payment plans, you can get the defense you need immediately. If you've been wrongly charged with a crime, time is not on your side. We're available to help you 24/7.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
What's up, guys? Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing. Monsoon season is here, which means my team and I are ready to serve you and your family. Go to state48roofing.com, scan the QR code below. We'll see you up on your roof.
In the fast lane of life, your fuel should keep up. Time to check out G2G protein bars, your ultimate grab-and-go meal replacement. Whether it's a workday, gym session, or navigating daily chaos, G2G has got you covered. Find them now at your local Costco in the refrigerated section, or explore all 8 fantastic flavors at G2GBar.com. Great tasting and packed with protein, so keep pace with life in the fast lane with G2G protein bars.
Tommy, I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Summer. Wait, we need to finish school shopping.
We got this. The kids' favorite Good and Gather snacks at Target are now at a new lower price.
And $5 lunch boxes. Well, let's get Luna the flower bento box.
Good idea. And for our Mega Shark Fan Max, I got the Shark backpack. It's only $20.
Even 25-cent select crayons and $6 teas.
And we're done.
Now, where were we?
Cheers to us. When it comes to finishing your supply list, Target has your back to school.
It is back. The most electrifying thing.
Welcome to a new era of college football.
I light every bridge I see here just to watch it burn. You seen all the hell I seen, it make your stomach turn. I think you know.
We introduced the next head football coach. We got a potential superstar on our hands.
We ain't coming no more. We back. You're live. I could tell some stories now, some things you won't believe.
14 to 12. College football is completely different.
We're going to see a lot of unexpected things happen.
I might hurt a little.
Jelly Roll. This is the new song, ESPN's new song, the theme for this season, starting on the 24th. It's the new single, Get By, and it's featured on his new album, and it is the soundtrack for ESPN's season-long college football across all of their networks, including ABC. So this is the 11th season that ESPN has partnered with an artist to create an anthem. And, you know, if you in the past, you remember Post Malone, Fall Out Boy, 30 Seconds to Mars. I mean, they have a lot of different bands that have been.
It's a good song. I like
that
it.
Have, yeah, I think it's good.
Good
so
song.
I think it's cool that they do that. There's a lot of crossover with the entertainment industry and sports, of course. That's a big part of ESPN Game Day when they bring those guys on. So I'm sure Jelly Roll will be one of the pickers this year.
Oh, I'm
Maybe
sure
that'll be one of the first. As first game day is it's in Dublin. And then the next one is, God, I talked about yesterday. I don't remember.
A&M, Notre Dame at College Station,
At College
Texas.
Station, that's right. Yes, that's number 2.
Come on, Irish.
Yeah, so there you have it. Travis Kelce is hosting a new game show called Are You Smarter Than a Celebrity? It'll launch on October 16th on Amazon Prime Video. I'm sure that'll be good to watch. Lane Kiffin, the Ole Miss coach, is being sued for copyright infringement. According to the Clarion Ledger, a swimming shrink named Dr. Keith Bell wrote a book in 1981, and it was called Winning Isn't Normal. Now, this lawsuit says it's filed against him, claiming that the coach retweeted in 2016 a passage from the book then posted a 7-paragraph passage in 2022 that was nearly identical to his book.
So it was his own words that he did it. He posted just kind of.
He took it out of the book and posted it.
Oh, I see. A little plagiarism going on right there.
But if you're the guy that wrote the book, no one even knew what your book was.
I would.
And
say,
you got Lane Kiffin actually posting it. I would think that would be a good thing.
Well, but did he give him credit? Hey, I got this from so and so's book.
Probably
back
not.
in 1981.
That's all fortunately, I only had a headline to give you.
I mean, you can post something as long as the credit's there at the very top. Hey, this is written by, Jim Stevenson of the, San Francisco Chronicle, and then put it right there. You can't post something that's as if it's your own saying and not give credit where credit is due. You just can't do that.
You got a source.
Yeah, you got a source. Absolutely.
So, by the way, that Georgia Tech Florida State game in Dublin sold out. So 47,000, and more than 25,000 of those were purchased in the United States. So a lot of people making the track over there. It's a big boon for the Irish economy. Like in the past, it's generated about $230 million.
Yeah, K-State will be headed over there next year. They'll win their opening game.
So the Chiefs' social media account posted a video of Patrick Mahomes forgetting to put his pads on. The pads that go in your pants.
Right. Mm-hmm. Slot.
And here he is. You're going to hear him. He's running around telling everybody on the field. It's pretty cool.
Oh, dude, I didn't put my pants on. Think anyone notices? I forgot my pants pads. Maybe you'll think my quads are so big that they look like pants. Idiot now, dude. Gotta go put my pants on. See you later, Creed.
Go get dressed.
Forgot to put my pants on.
So when I saw that and heard it, it immediately took me back to Jimmy Fallon and Will Ferrell with this sketch.
No one else around is wearing tight pants. I got my tight pants.
Remember this one?
Yes.
I just thought it was so funny. So here I am on YouTube trying to find that video because I thought that was pretty cool. But a random fact of the day: the first pass Brett Favre ever completed in the National Football League was to himself. The pass was tipped by a defensive lineman, and Brett caught it. Unfortunately, as Manuch knows, when he played, lost 7 yards.
Yes, got tipped, caught it. I guess it was with the Atlanta Falcons, his very first game, going way back prior to going to the Packers. He traded the Packers.
Yeah, the plane last night carrying the Panthers players and staff slid off the taxiway there in Charlotte Douglas International Airport early in the morning. They were playing the Patriots in Boston, and Delta Airlines had to release a statement that when I was landing, the right main gear, basically of this Delta 8860, exited the taxiway just before 3 o'clock in the morning. And the plane, had about 188 passengers. No one got hurt. But I guess they said that they were on the plane a long time. They'd wait like an hour just for a bus to come get them. As
3 o'clock in the morning,
it delayed like all these flights. It was a complete nightmare there.
I'm sure
Delta's just
they're
sorry, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I just started becoming a Delta Platinum guy, because I love their customer service. But man, they are just going through a little funk here. They're struggling a little bit.
I bet there's more closer calls than we're aware of with a lot of these. You think all the teams that are flying around the world, the nation, with some of these close calls like that. But they're very fortunate nobody got hurt.
Real quick, Nebraska has flipped a key recruiting target from Oregon, a 4-star wide receiver, Isaiah Mosey. I think that's how you say his last name. He's from Lee Summit, Montana. He's the son of Jamar Mosey, who's a former coach who took a job at Nebraska in July as a senior offensive analyst on Matt Rule's staff. But this kid is the number 2 prospect out of not Montana, Missouri. And he is one of the top players in the country. And he was going to go to Oregon, but now he is going to Nebraska.
Well, when you have your own blood on the coaching staff, it's like Raiola, the young kid that was at Chandler when committed to Georgia. His uncle is the offensive line coach in Nebraska.
So that helps. And this kid he's the highest rated recruit in Nebraska recruiting class. I think Nebraska's going to be back.
I would hope so. I hope that Matt Rule.
They're good for football to be successful.
Their problem is just getting it's not that they don't have the NIL money. They have plenty of NIL money. It's just getting the top recruits. So this is a step in the right direction. Getting Raiola, the young man, to flip from Georgia to go to Nebraska helps as well.
So here are some of the toughest schedules looking forward to 2025. MSNBC did it. Florida has the toughest. they're one of three teams that are facing 11 power conference squads. Now, they only have one breather, and that's Samford. Georgia Tech is number 2. They're coming off a 7-6 season, and they have a hell of a schedule. They got Notre Dame, NC State, Miami, Virginia Tech. They got Florida State as their week 0 game, as you know, as they just sold out, as I mentioned. USC and Lincoln Riley, they have number 4. They open the season with LSU in Vegas, and they have Notre Dame as a non-conference, and then they draw Michigan, Wisconsin, Penn State, Nebraska. UCLA is number 4. I think a lot of these teams, now that they're Big Ten, that puts their schedule up harder. They still have USC and Oregon, and that'll be interesting. Plus, who they have in the conference. Vanderbilt, not one of the stronger teams in the SEC. Auburn, they got Tennessee, they got LSU. I'm sure they're not looking forward. Purdue, they were number 6. I'll quickly get through this. Georgia 7, Houston 8, and then Alabama 9, and rounding out the 10 is Michigan. Arizona State comes in at number 11 because of their Big 12 matchups with Kansas, Utah, Oklahoma State, and Kansas State. Hour number 3 next.
Clear.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B has been sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing.
There's something that binds us all. The constant hunger to improve. The obsession with every detail. And the reward of a custom fitting taking your game to a whole new level. We're all bound by 2 words said by golfers worldwide. Schedule your fitting at Vans Golf Shops. Find your local store at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
Craving a sandwich that packs a punch? Welcome to Knuckle Sandwiches in Mesa. We're not your typical sandwich shop. All our menu items are made in-house using family recipes passed down for generations. Taste the difference in every bite. And we don't stop at sandwiches. Enjoy our mouth-watering breakfast burritos and delicious bagel sandwiches. Plus, we cater all over the valley for your next event. Find us at 1140 North Higley in North Point Village, next to Bashis. Or skip the line and order online at knucklesandwichesaz.com. Knuckle Sandwiches. This is the knuckle sandwich your parents should have given you.
A small commitment at least 1 day a week helps reduce ground level ozone pollution and helps us all breathe easier. Reduce traffic congestion and ozone-causing emissions by teleworking. Visit maricopa.gov/AQ to learn how you can help.
Calling all veterans and first responders that are considering buying or selling a home. The Jason Mitchell Group, the #1 real estate team in the United States, is offering all veterans, along with active duty and first responders, thousands of dollars towards your next home purchase or the sale of your home. Hey, it's Jody Ayler, proud to tell you about the exclusive Honor Home Rewards powered by the Jason Mitchell Group, headquartered right here in Phoenix. Honor Home Rewards has helped thousands, in fact, tens of thousands of home buyers and sellers. The goal now is to give $1 million of real estate commission credits back to veterans and first responders through the Honor Home Rewards program. So if you've been thinking about buying or selling your home and you're a veteran, active duty, or first responder, the time is now. Work with one of the top-rated real estate professionals at the Jason Mitchell Group and put thousands of dollars back in your pocket when you close. Check out honorhomerewards.com. That's honorhomerewards.com. Honor Home Rewards, rewarding those that deserve it most.
Cam found out that group chats between different phones aren't private or encrypted. Thank you. We only text in code.
Yes, which I created. I created a code.
Yes, which can be a little annoying.
Wait, was that your attempt at the code?
You already forgot the code, didn't you?
I should have written it down.
A place to safely send messages between different devices. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
Joe Brown here with Accident Law Group. If you were hurt in an accident, find us on the web at accidentlawgroup.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Broadcasting from the Raffi Law Group studios. This is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD3 Phoenix. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app, the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics.
Julia Copper scored 11, Brittany Griner at 5 in Team USA's win against Australia today. Diana Taurasi did not score. The Diamondbacks put Ryan Nelson on the bump for tonight's game against the Phillies. Pitcher Merrill Kelly is on track to rejoin the starting rotation for Sunday's finale. The Cardinals release linebacker Marquise Haynes ahead of tomorrow's preseason opener with the Saints. Fox Sports 910 will have coverage of the Cowboys-Rams game on Sunday. The Suns don't have their schedule yet, but reports say they'll play the Nuggets Christmas Day. The official NBA schedule release for the upcoming season is expected soon. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
For tonight, look for partly cloudy skies, overnight low right around 91 degrees, and then warming up as we head into the weekend. 110 degrees on your Saturday with a slight chance of thunderstorms Saturday night. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by ChumbaCasino.com. Introducing Chumba Casino, the thrilling online social casino that's free to play. Head on over to ChumbaCasino.com now to join in on the fun. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B is sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing. Now back to the Roc and Manuch Show, live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the selection, and always right on the price. Wright Toyota, 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale, and online at wrighttoyota.com. Calling all sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In Iraq and need a check? Make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900. And always on at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. on Fox Sports 910.
Hope you're having a good Friday. Just after 3 o'clock here at Wright Toyota, right on the corner, right on the price. Wright Toyota, our State 48 Roofing. It's your call question this hour. How much playing time you want to see the starters play in tomorrow's Cardinals-Saints game? Your choices are none, 2 series, 1 quarter, or a half. It sounds like you're not going to see any of that.
Well, currently the leader in the clubhouse is 2 series at 80%, 1 quarter, 20%, none 0%, and a half 0%. People want to see these guys play. I mean, 2 series, I think, is, the starters to get out there and knock the rest off. Hell, Andy Reid of the Chiefs, he's got his guys committed to playing at least a quarter, that being the starter.
There are a lot of teams that do.
Exactly. That
You have a lot of starters that are going. I mean, you just look at, you go to ProFootballTalk.com and you can just see on the right side, left side, Sam Darnold starting, or whomever. I mean, it's just, you go down the list and their quarterbacks are starting.
And I think that with only the 3 preseason games, Rock, you got to get your work in somewhere, especially if you're a new quarterback like a Sam Darnold in Minnesota. Kyler Murray, who played 8 games last year, needs to get, I think, some reps with his new receiving core. Derek Carr, whether he goes tomorrow night or not, he may be forced to go if Jake Haener, who had some cancer removed, and Spencer Rattler is not ready. But I like at least a couple, 2-3 series. I loved it that, Chuck Knox played the Bills. He would go have the first team guy goes maybe 2 or 3 series, and then us backups would go in, play for 3 quarters. And we had 4 preseason games because that's where you got your time in. And he also believed in timing, believed in tempo, and getting physical, getting that physicality, because we never hit. We would do the old thud thing at Buffalo. But he really believed in hitting. He believed in continuity because he wanted to come out of the chute the very first game of the year hitting on all cylinders. So you work the bugs out. You work the guys in. Who do you have? Who don't you have? Where are your weaknesses? Where are your strengths? To make sure you have that preseason, especially with only 3 preseason games.
Howard Balzer will join us at the bottom of the hour. Get a recap from him. He was at the Hall of Fame induction last week and had an opportunity to interview just about everybody because he's also with XM Sirius NFL, so he'll join us. But yesterday, Diamondbacks, they gave up 4 runs in the top of the 6th as they fell to the Phillies in the first game of 4, 6-4. Gino Suarez, he got them started early. Well, not early, but got them off
on the board
first. 1-0 with the solo shot in the bottom of the 5th. Jordan Montgomery looked pretty good first 5 innings, but fell apart in that half inning of the 6th, and he ended up being charged with a 6th loss, allowing 4 runs on 8 hits in the 5 2/3 innings. Jake McCarthy, 3 hits, 3 RBIs, including a home run in the losing effort. But they still, that being the Diamondbacks sit 3.5 games behind the Dodgers for first place in the National League West. I like the fact that we can talk about 3.5 games behind the Dodgers for first place in the National League West.
You gotta love that.
Not just wild card.
Sure,
which is what we've been talking about. Oh, 3 games out of the wild card, 5 games out of the wild card.
And if you continue to win series after series after series, where they've got 6 series wins after the All-Star break, 14-5 after the All-Star break, and this is a team as far as literally hitting on all cylinders. And whether if Merrill Kelly can come on back, I thought we saw Erod the other night had a really good outing, if you will.
Yeah, he did.
I'm going to say out of the last 6 or 7 games, Corbin Crescent started all of them because I think there's some really good competition. If Jake McCarthy stays hot in the outfield and Gurriel stays hot, you got Alec Thomas back. And if Corbin
Good rotation, those 4 guys.
It's such a joke. It's a for show cause. And then if you hire